Business was slow as usual. There hadn't been a client since the disappearance of Jane Hare. Ah, yes. That was a misunderstanding that turned south rather quick. I was getting discouraged. The hope of a big case was dwindling. My discontent led me to believe a small child's idyllic fantasy over sound logic and fact. I was getting antsy, and I could only take solace in the fact that crime never stops. It only rests for a while.
Mr. Finnigan! Mr. Finnigan! I need your help!
Alas, case. What seems to be the problem, Mr. Mussolini?
I'm at my wit's end, Mr. Finnigan. There has been so much hullabaloo and hootenanny, and I don't know where to turn.
Calm down, Mel. What's the problem?
My apologies, Mr. Finnigan, but something terrible has happened.
This is my break. What's terrible?
The mail! It's gone! It's all gone!
Where was the last place you saw it?
Nowhere! I went to the outskirts as usual and found nothing in the mailbox. Perplexed, I returned to the mailroom to see that all the mail from the entire mailroom was gone. There's no mail anywhere. What are we going to do?
Well, first, you need to take a deep breath, Melvin. You have the best detective in all of the North on the case. Finally, the case I've been looking for and waiting for, it has arrived at my doorstep, like a piece of mail. No pun intended. This was going to be a big one. I could feel it. But where to start? We had so little information. Was it stolen? Could the wind have taken it? How does mail even work? I had so many questions and so many suspects, but no answers. My first step would be knowledge. I must understand the system to the mail. The library would be my first step.
Dan? Wait, we need to find the mail, Dan.
Quickly, Melvin. To Walters.
Yes, sir.
No, yes. Truly brilliant. Truly brilliant.
Pardon me, Walter, but I have some questions to ask you.
Why? Of course. Wait. Why the solemn face?
It's about the mail, Walt. It's gone.
Oh dear.
Keep calm, Melvin. We don't want to create a panic.
Well, okay.
This does seem like a grave set of circumstances indeed. Please let me know what I can do to help.
Thank you, Walter. We just have a few questions.
Well, ask away.
Have you heard anything about the mail?
Disregard that question, Walt.
Well, how come?
When you ask, have you heard, that leaves room for the question and for opinions and for gossip. We're trying to stick to just the facts.
Oh, okay.
Besides, we're on a bus here for knowledge more than anything else, really. Walter, what can you tell me about the mail system?
Oh, it's quite fascinating, really, in fact. I was just reading a book on it.
Well, fascinating and convenient.
The idea of sending a letter to one another over long distance through a carrier, a person, more than likely dates back to the invention of writing itself. But the first official postal system began in ancient Egypt. Pharaohs would send decrees through the designated postman to the entire kingdom. This was also most likely how all kingdoms text their villagers, but the system was rather one-sided. many, many years ago. And many, many years later, in 1653, in France, a man by the name of Jean-Jacques Ravon de Vira came up with the first modern-day postal system. He set up his own mailboxes and would deliver any letters placed in them if they used his envelopes. Unfortunately, his system was rather short-lived due to the few pranksters putting live mice in the mailboxes to scare away customers. So, the postal system started as a resource for only nobility.
But when the resources reached the common man, would the nobility start to sabotage the system?
We can't jump to conclusions, Melvin. Now, nothing on Walter's story indicate the rich were behind this mice incident. I'll have to further investigate the Great Mice Prank of 1653, but for now, Walter's provided a lot to go off of. Nobility were the first to start the mail system, but mischief makers can easily be the ones to end it. I think I'll start my search with the nobility. Dan?
I think he's zoning out again. Daniel!
Come, Melvin, to the geese.
Linda, have you looked outside of this window at this ox fellow? He's doing an absolutely horrid job.
Now, do you remember what you always tell me?
Yes, of course. We must help those who are less fortunate.
Good, darling. I'm off to meet Linda for some shopping.
Lovely, dear. Don't spend all your money in one place. Ta-ta.
Good afternoon, Gunther.
Egads, Daniel Finnigan. What business do you have here? It looks like someone stole the mail. And we think you did it.
No, we don't. Easy, Mel. We can't make that claim without all the facts.
Well, my. This is quite the conundrum.
We're hoping you can help us find some answers and answer a few questions for us.
As much as I'd love to help, I am much too busy to stand interrogation right now.
It would only take a few minutes.
I'm afraid I can't help you with your frivolous investigation. I have to plan my outfit for the mayor's dinner on Friday night. But sir, I have not seen the mail, nor do I know anyone who has. My deepest condolences for your loss, Melvin. Good day. Well, that was unhelpful.
Anything could be helpful for an investigation, Melvin. You just have to find the facts among the jargon.
What?
Pardon me, sirs, but I couldn't help but overhear your conundrum. You say you think someone stole the mail?
Not per se. It's a very likely possibility, as the mail is just vanishing.
Well, I couldn't help but overhear Willum and Pierre feuding about some letters last week.
One of them could have taken the mail to get back at the other.
Remember what I said about jumping to conclusions? We need to stick to the straight facts. Now, Otis, what exactly did you hear?
I heard Pierre say something about expecting a letter from a special lady in the Caribbean.
I didn't know Pierre had a girlfriend.
That's just the thing. He's been waiting a couple weeks for it, and it hasn't come.
You said that he and Willum were feuding?
Yes. I heard Willum say that he didn't stop with his silly little painting of his, and help with the lighthouse soon. If that girl ever did write him back, he'd take the letter and hide it from him.
Willum could have stolen the whole lot. He could have taken all of it before I even picked it up.
That would seem like a likely lead. Indeed, it seemed Willum was my best suspect for these things, but things were still not adding up. Why wouldn't you just take just one letter instead of the whole stack? What point did he have in going to the inland now? Indeed, I have more questions than answers. If I really wanted to beat this case, I was going to have to take a break and break out my best investigation skills.
Is he okay?
Gosh dang it, he's doing it again. Here, I'll handle it. Daddy boy! Daddy, come on, wake up! Come on, we got places to be and people to see. Come on, Daddy, you got this?
To the lighthouse, Melvin.
Alright, see, I told you I got this. Are you sure they're home today?
Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? There's a storm brewing, and they're probably just batting down the hatches.
Well, we are in a lighthouse, first off, not in a boat. At any rate, I'm going to see if I can find the missing mail.
We haven't confirmed if it's stolen yet.
Well, there's still no harm in looking. Let me know if you find any clues.
Well, if it ain't Daniel Finnigan, the hardened detective of the North, what do I owe the pleasure? Oh yes, Captain. It's a pleasure to see you too, but I do have a few questions for you. No detective asking questions without a reason.
So what be yours?
Well, the mail's gone, and I don't know who took it, but it might be you. What are you doing with my paintbrushes? Leave them alone. I'm terribly sorry about this, Pierre, but I do have a warrant.
No, you don't. Put the kid's brushes down and search elsewhere.
Fine. One day, that I get to be a detective, and you have to ruin all the fun.
So what's all this I hear about missing mail? All the mail of Snowden has gone missing. Well, I'm terribly sorry to hear about that. I was looking forward to this month's issue of Dying Dodos Monthly. I like to mess with Elton by dyeing my feathers myself. We were tipped off recently about a source that you and Pierre recently had an argument over the mail. Oh, that little tiff. I was messing with the lad. I knew if he worked harder, the girl would motivate him. So you didn't steal the mail? Of course not. I'll even call my alibi. Hey, Pipsqueak.
I told you not to call me that 1,000 times. Do not call me that.
Well, whatever you say, Penguin.
What do you need?
Danny Boy here thinks that you and I might have stolen the mail, particularly me, to keep you from talking to your little lady friend overseas on account of our spat last week.
Oh, that? No, her letter came in just after the argument. I've already written her back.
See? Thank you, boy. Besides, even if I wanted to steal the mail, I couldn't get out there with my old legs like that, all the way to the outskirts. Indeed. Melvin called for the search. He hasn't got it. Of course, what was I thinking? An old bird like him, he could never make it out to the outskirts, nor could 95% of our community. In fact, I believe Melvin is probably one of the only few people who can get to that terrain. Well, him and Jerry, of course, that mythical creature. I was hot on the trail, and I needed to make one more stop at the mailbox.
I don't think he's breathing.
Danny boy, can you hear me?
Is he doing the thing again? Just give him a second. He'll snap out of it.
Melvin, follow me. We're off to the outskirts.
Coming, sir. Why are we looking for Jerry?
The beast of the outskirts.
Yeah.
He's the key to the case. The only other person who can reach the mail other than you.
Well, Jerry would never do that.
I just want to see if he has anything.
Now, Dan, don't jump to conclusions.
I'm not.
Well, here's the most common sighting point. I only ever really see him out by the mailbox.
Then we'll wait here, watching and waiting for the prime suspect. It was all coming together. A lonely beast longing for connection. He stole the mail to feel like someone was writing to him. And to feel like someone cared, but it wasn't his.
Dan, I found the mail.
What?
It's right here, in the mailbox with a note. Good day, Mr. Marvelous Moose Mailman. Hey, that's me.
Keep reading, Mel. This is extremely important.
All right, I apologize. I apologize for the delay. A horrible storm threw me off course, and I got lost. I came as fast as I can, but I ended up being late. I'm sorry. I hope my delay didn't cause any concern. Sincerely, the mailman.
So it was just delivered late.
I guess so. I'm sorry for all the fuss. I guess I should have double-checked, you know? Measure twice, cut once, as they say.
But what about the local mail?
I solved that one too. When I was getting to the outskirts mail, I found a note. I put it in a bag as a reminder.
And?
Well, there is no local mail today. Isn't that silly? You can't see all my confusion about the outskirts. I forgot that no one had sent any letters to each other.
So the case is closed then?
I guess so. You know, it's just like you've been telling me from the start, Dan. I shouldn't jump to conclusions without all the facts. Well, I should be getting this mail distributed, I mean. I'll see you in town.
Alright, see you in town, Mel. At the end of the day, there's no winning with the crime. But if you stick to the facts and don't jump to conclusions, the truth will always prevail. That's another case closed. For Dan Finnigan, P.I.